the skies here in Coventry. The skies that are a mix of smoke from the fireworks that we've had before kick-off and a little bit of drizzle as well. On this, a big game tonight for England after familiar defensive weaknesses were ruthlessly exposed in Friday night's thrilling defeat by Germany at Wembley. 4-3 the Lionesses went down. Sarina Wiegman's criticised for not making changes to her starting 11 for that game. She has made 8 changes this evening as the players break away and go into their pre-match huddles. There's a full debut for Jess Naz of Tottenham up top. Leah Williamson, the captain, who wins her 50th cap. Stanway and Mead are the only players to keep their places. As we say, former England goalkeeper Rachel Brown-Finnis alongside me. Rachel, 8 changes. Is that the right number?
Yeah, I completely agree with all the changes. Sarina Wiegman alluded to the fact that she was going to do that. I believe she was always going to do that, part of the opportunity that comes with very few friendlies. Obviously leading up now to the European Championships that England have already qualified for. Then it's about looking at new partnerships on the pitch, not just because things didn't go to plan on Friday, but just because it's a new tournament, it's a new cycle. Building, always looking to the future. The immediate future is planning to rectify Friday night and to show not just the fans but internally the players and the entire setup they are far better than what they provided on the pitch, because the frailties defensively, particularly in that opening half hour, do that in the Euros and you're out.
England's players, led by Leah Williamson, dressed all in purple tonight with the gold numbers on the back, make their way into their half. They'll be playing from left to right in this first half. And just a word on what you said there, Rachel. It's not just about Friday night, is it? Because questions over the starting lineup, questions over the lack of rotation, questions over performance levels, and questions over the defending go back months.
Yes, they do. And Sarina Wiegman came in and within 18 months had won the European Championships, and then within a year, because of COVID and the European Championships being delayed a year, there she was, and then the team were in the final in Australia against Spain, get to their first ever World Cup final. So to such success in such a short period of time, and then she's 4 years into her tenure and having to redevelop and change things. We're now the hunted team, teams to come and score a goal past us, try and beat us, try and outplay us. That's something that England have never been in that situation before. There's a whole group of players here who are coming into that and have never experienced that before, and a whole group of players who have been the opposite, have been trying to get the first ever win against Germany, the first ever win against the USA. A lot of first evers have happened under Sarina Wiegman, and that is the positives that I take into games tonight.
So it will be England to get us underway up against the reigning African champions, South Africa. But they are ranked 50th in the world. They were thumped 5-0 by Denmark on Friday. They make 4 changes from that game, the visitors, and they have some big players returning. Linda Moltalo, Hilda Maguire, Tembi Katlana all missed the Denmark game due to visa issues, as did Sinatolo Kassan. She wins her 5th cap, but the other 3 are all part of the AFCON winning side of 2022 and big players as well. So it will be England to get us underway, and South Africa playing in a bright pink kit, raising awareness for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. England, as we say, all in purple with the gold numbers on the back. And the first thing we can spot Rachel Brown-Finnis as England get us underway, playing from left to right in this friendly here on 5 Sports Extra, is that Alex Greenwood, as we expected, is playing at centre half with Ismay Morgan out on the left-hand side at left back.
Yeah, I would have expected that. Alex Greenwood started life playing the same team as me at Everton as a left back, but I think he's very much more suited to left centre half.
And this is a great run by Jess Naz down the left-hand side. Eventually, the flag does go up, though, on this near side, and it will be an offside against Jess Naz. What a moment this is for her. She's 24 years of age. She only made her England debut back in July against the Republic of Ireland. Came off the bench on Friday at Wembley against Germany. This her first start for her country. And fair to say, Rachel, had she not had that ACL injury that set her back 16 months earlier in her career, then this moment might have come sooner.
Absolutely, and adding firepower to a senior England squad that's seen Ellen White retire in the last since the European Championships. So it's a department certainly that England need to bring players through, whether it be from the youth age groups. But Jess Naz is a really exciting player. She can play out wide, a bit like Beth Mead, started life as a 9, found herself either in 11 or 7, and we've seen how fluid that front line can be under Sarina Wiegman.
So South Africa in possession with their goalkeeper Kaylin Swart, all in bright red. I'll take you through their lineup in a moment, but let's start with England. Mary Earps in goal. The back four of Maya Le Tissier, Alex Greenwood, Leah Williamson, the captain, winning her 50th cap, and Esme Morgan. Ahead of them it's Georgia Stanway and Grace Clinton, with Chloe Kelly, Jess Park and Beth Mead supporting Jess Naz up front, as England win a free kick midway through their own half. And Mary Earps in possession, plays it out to Leah Williamson. Just a word on Earps coming in for Hampton. Rachel, would you have expected that, given what happened in the qualifiers when Earps was number 1 and Hampton played against the Republic of Ireland? Hampton, to be fair, even though she conceded 4 goals, perhaps could have done better with Clara Bull's third against Germany, but it was more the defence in front of her that was the issue. Never a surprise really to see Mary Earps coming back in for this one.
I see, albeit with just England on the attack.
Here we go, Chloe Kelly down the right hand side, edge of the penalty area, plays it back to Maya Le Tissier, who's getting forward well here, the Manchester United captain, plays it to the edge of the penalty area, and her Manchester United teammate Grace Clinton, and now Kelly picks it up again, green boots flashing, lays it into the area, Jess Park, shot on the edge of the 6-yard box, it's blocked away well by South Africa, but goalkeeper Kaylin Swart makes a bit of a mess of clearing it. It's behind for an England corner. That was a brilliant England move, probably. No, I'm not going to say that, because we did see some brilliant attacking moves by England against Germany, but do you get a sense some of these players have a bit of a point to prove, having been given the chance by Sarina Wiegman?
Well, absolutely that, and in a game like tonight, players like Jess Park, Chloe Kelly, Beth Mead, all the front line, Jessica Naz, they're going to be absolutely mouth-watering coming into a game like this, where Denmark beat them 5-0. They know they're going to get chances.
So here comes the corner from Greenwood. It's cleared away at the near post by South Africa. Out again for another England corner. It's
much harder, Vicky, for a player for like Mary Earps to remind Sarina Wiegman that she's the number 1, that she still wants to be number 1, and also players like Alex Greenwood coming in at centre half, because they're not actually going to have, you'd expect, that much to do, and it'd be more about concentration and what they do when they get the ball. Alex Greenwood, Mary Earps, the likes of those, ensuring it's 100% polished with their execution.
Well, she's just swung the corner across again, Greenwood, but the referee had spotted an infringement, so here she goes, third time lucky, on the header down and right into the arms of Kaylin Swart, the South Africa goalkeeper. That was a chance for England. Williamson was up from the back. And South Africa play it down this left-hand side, but they've lost possession. Hilda Maguire robbed, and here is Jess Naz, plays it back to Georgia Stanway on the halfway line, and now square to Leah Williamson. Out to the left-hand side now, and Esme Morgan. Again, notable that both left-back Esme Morgan and right-back Maya Le Tissier are really pushing high up for England in these early stages. 4 minutes gone here on 5 Sports Extra, and it's goalless between England and South Africa in this friendly, as England have a throw on the far side. Rachel Brown-Finnis.
I don't absolutely expect that, Vicky, that Maya Le Tissier at right-back and Esme Morgan left-back in a team where they're going to have to sit in. You're going to have to only dealing with one number 9 up front. Then one of the centre-halves can do that. Both full-backs can push on. If South Africa do seem to pose more of a problem, flooding plays forward down the right or the left, one of them might have to sit, but otherwise it's licensed to bomb up and down the flanks for Esme Morgan and Maya Le Tissier.
England in possession over on the far side. South Africa can't make the interception in the centre of the park, and they're zipping it around nicely again, the Lionesses. Here is Jess Park, Maya Le Tissier getting involved, sends it out to the right hand side, and Chloe Kelly. Here is Park once more, looking really lively in these opening exchanges, and England again moving the ball with intent and purpose and precision as it's laid off to Leah Williamson, and now in field to Alex Greenwood, just inside the centre circle, plays it forward left-footed, nice layoff from Park, but won't quite find Beth Mead over on that left-hand side, and the ball goes all the way back to Kaylin Swart, who is in goal for South Africa. Their back four of Ramalepe, Mbane, Makubela and Dlamini. Ahead of them, Motlahalo and Maguire and Matau, with Katlana Notolo Kesan supporting with her sister Sinatola Kesan, twin sister, up front as Mary Earps comes out of her penalty area, plays it forward to Maya Le Tissier, and here is Grace Clinton once again. Finds Le Tissier, her Manchester United teammate. That's a lovely ball forward to Jess Naz. Oh, she was absolutely wiped out there. Referee thinks about it and eventually gives what must be one of the clearest free kicks I've ever seen. Even Serena Wiegman, who's not normally the most emotional manager, was up and out of a technical area appealing. I don't really know why our referee Maria Sole Ferreira Caputi gave herself that much thinking time, but in the end it's the right decision. Free kick to England, just about on the right hand corner of that penalty area.
Nearly as clear as the non-penalty on Friday that was given against England. Anyway, last time I'm going to mention that.
Do I believe that? I don't think I do, Rachel Brown-Finnis. We do have VAR and goal line technology here, so they can get involved, but not for a free kick, of course, but the free kick is given.
Likes of Alex Greenwood, desperate to cement a starting place. One of the things that sets her apart from Leah Williamson and Millie Bright at centre-half are free kicks.
And she swings it in now, left-footed, but straight into the arms of Kaylin Swart.
And you've got to think, if you players, as say, more defensive players who are given a chance tonight to show Serena Wiegman what they can do, you're going to have to look at making the most of very few opportunities.
A little slip over on the far side by Maguire, and England will have it over on that left-hand side. They are enjoying the Lionesses' share of possession at the moment. England, as we very much expected they would do. South Africa, like England, will be looking to retain their continental title next summer. They are the reigning African champions, up against the reigning European champions, but England second in the world to South Africa's 50th. They are very much the big favourites, anything other than a victory, and to be honest, a decisive victory would be a big shock here. And it's a wounded England who, after losing 4-3 to Germany at Wembley, have given the ball away on the halfway line. It's Williamson again, this time not so costly. The whistle has gone, and it will be a free kick to South Africa on the halfway line. Hilda Maguire, one of the players that missed the Denmark game due to visa issues, and a big player for South Africa to have back, just getting up and limping away from that challenge. And South Africa have the set piece. 8.5 minutes gone. It's still goalless here in Coventry.
England have got to be tidier. You know, there was this little sloppy bit of possession that was lost, that was given away, and then a late tackle. As much as the conceding 4 goals on Germany hurts enough, the real drop in levels of performance, in standards, in quality, in conviction in how England played on Friday is absolutely something that they'll want to work on. They're a very strong mentally group of players. You know, the way that they battled through was so memorable. The World Cup rounds, people were talking about how unconvincing they were, how they stumbled through, but they got through and they found different ways of winning that. And albeit that was a World Cup and this is a friendly, or group of 2 friendlies.
Yes, 9 minutes gone here in Coventry, and it's still goalless between England and South Africa. England very much as we expected, having the Lionesses share of possession, but not really testing South Africa's goalkeeper Kaylin Swart so far. 8 changes, remember, and you do get the sense, Kelly, that there are players on this pitch who very much want to seize the opportunity to impress. Parks looked really lively, Grace Clinton as well, Maya Le Tissier, the Manchester United captain, getting forward down the right. But at the moment, with 10 minutes gone, it's England 0, South Africa 0. And welcome back. If you're with us on Sports Extra, we will be updating our colleagues over on 5 Live throughout the evening, but you can have full commentary here with us on 5 Sports Extra here at the Coventry Building Society Arena. Still goalless in this international women's friendly between England and South Africa as Grace Clinton plays the ball forward to her Manchester United teammate Maya Le Tissier. Down the right hand side has Chloe Kelly there for support. Le Tissier does well, almost finds Kelly well to hold on to it down by the corner flag, but it's given away by South Africa as they look to clear, and Jess Naz could be onto it here. Really good goalkeeping by Kaylin Swart. Just talk us through that, Rachel Brown-Finnis, former England goalkeeper, because she was out so quickly there to deny Jess Naz.
Really, really sharp goalkeeping there from Kaylin Swart. She was waiting, you could see a good advanced position, it's about 4 yards off. There was never a tight touch by an England player where you could see that the trigger was going to pull, so she bided her time, Kaylin Swart, and when there was a loose ball threaded through from Grace Clinton to Jessica Naz, she used her athleticism to get out and pounce on it, Kaylin Swart.
South Africa in possession with their left back, Karabo Dlamini. Now picked up in the centre of the park by Mutau. Dlamini loses the ball and it goes out of play for an England throw midway through the South Africa half. They actually take it pretty much on the halfway line. May Le Tissier just wanting to get on with things, and Georgia Stanway, lovely leave by Beth Mead for Esme Morgan. England really playing some lovely stuff here. He's Mead down to the byline, wins the corner. This is more like it from England, and we've mentioned the calibre of opponent in South Africa compared to Germany. It is very different, but is it the changes that are having an effect? Is it the opponent? Tell you what, we'll bring Rachel in on that in a moment, because England are about to take this corner, but that's going to be one of the key things. We're seeing a marked improvement in performance, but why are we seeing that? As the corner is taken from the left-hand side and England trying to latch onto it, Naz picks it up and it's swept towards goal and into the bottom corner. Huge celebrations for Leah Williamson, the captain, because she scores for England on her 50th cap and puts them 1-0 up against South Africa. And my word, how much did Leah Williamson, after what happened at Wembley on Friday night, need that?
Indeed she did. And when the ball broke to her just on the edge of the box, she was so calm, so poised, so composed to just sweep it, guide it home into the far corner, across Kaylin Swartz, dive down to her left. But the setup was beautiful, from the run and the over from Beth Mead down the left-hand side to win the corner, and then how the ball was recycled from the corner to drop to the edge of the box to Leah Williamson. You could see she absolutely fist pumped the air. She was delighted with that after the defensive performance was not up to scratch, as we've mentioned. Getting a goal as captain of his side, put into context of this last couple of years, has been really hard for Leah Williamson.
Yeah, missed the World Cup last summer with an ACL injury after captaining England to Euros glory, the first major trophy in their history 2 years ago. It was a really tough night for her at Wembley on Friday, as England give the ball away outside their own penalty area, and South Africa could hit back here. Little deflection, can it be carried through? Somehow it's off the line. How on earth has Hilda Maguire not forced that ball home? Hesitancy from the South Africa player allowed England to get back and rescue themselves. And just as we start talking about the fact that England are redeeming themselves, almost a goal back for South Africa, it's Leah Williamson who's given England the lead here at the Coventry Building Society Arena. But almost England's defensive frailties coming to the fore again. Maguire really should have levelled it up. Somehow England have smuggled it off the line, and it's a South Africa corner. 14 minutes gone. England 1, South Africa 0. So here on Sports Extra, England defend that corner, but South Africa have managed to win it back, and they have it inside the penalty area. Good defending by Leah Williamson against the left back Dlamini. And Williamson then, as the ball comes back in, clears the ball away, as out on the left hand side it's picked up by South Africa, enjoying a good little spell here. Linda Motlahalo, she has it on the left hand side, and they work it back to Maguire, and all the way back now to the halfway line and Makubela. But Rachel Brown finished. How did Maguire not pull the trigger?
Grace Clinton is your answer. She managed to wrestle the South African attacker. I'm just watching a replay now, actually. She managed to wrestle her basically off the line and then get a little heel in just half a yard off the line. She does so well to get her body between the ball and the player so that she couldn't just sweep it in. It was the easiest of chances really for Maguire until Grace Clinton came in and did a wonderful defensive job.
So clearance away from Mary Earps out to the left-hand side. As Rachel says, it is brilliant defensive work by Grace Clinton. One of those players that Lionesses fans have been clamouring to start. She did so well on loan at Tottenham last season. She won their Player of the Year award. She was named the PFA Young Player of the Year, nominated for WSL Player of the Year as well, one of the big senior awards. As Jess Naz down the right hand side does well and is going towards the penalty area. She's stopped in her tracks by Dlamini, and it will be another England corner. But we haven't really had time to talk about the Leah Williamson finish. It was a very composed one, but again, it's just England in a nutshell, isn't it? This time they're clinical in terms of a chance that they had with Williamson, but then right down the other end and playing themselves into trouble completely unnecessarily.
It's moments where they switch off, Vicky, and that's where teams like Germany punish you and they score. Simple as that. A team like South Africa, we managed to be able to defend on the line to be able to get it away. But, you know, they are the lessons that we learned on Friday.
So corner for England from the right-hand side. It's swinging again, and the flying header on the run, again by Williamson. This time sails over the crossbar.
Should have scored there. Absolutely. It was a great run from Leah Williamson. She ran across from the far post to get to the near post. As the ball was swung in, she just couldn't direct it accurately enough. She got full purchase on it, a really good and powerful in-swinging corner. Didn't only need us to redirect it, didn't need to have any power on it. But a good positive start for Leah Williamson, certainly in attack.
So England leading South Africa by a goal to nil here. 16 minutes gone here in Coventry in this women's international friendly as Williamson, the goal scorer, heads the ball away. Laid off by Jess Park to Georgetown Maesty. Is about to Greenwood under a little bit of pressure and will be tidied up by Esme Morgan. And now Williamson once again. That's calm, that's composed. She got it away from Sinotolo Kosan. But South Africa have it back on the halfway line. Here's Maguire, sends it forward now to Thembi Kgatlana. She's been brought down there. Has she? No. Has she? Yes. Rachel Brown finished. Was saying get up. It's a dive. Initially the referee let play continue, but in the end blows that whistle. And South Africa have a free kick just a few yards away from that left-hand corner of the penalty area. England 1, South Africa 0.
I didn't think that was a free kick. It was almost out-muscled Leah Williamson and Maya Letitia, South African player, but they leave themselves in a dangerous position. Something for Mary Earps to command her box.
So Motau, the midfielder, who can score from range from a free kick. We've seen her do it. This one's a lot wider. She fires it in. Grace Clinton's on the penalty spot and clears away, and that's a nice touch by Jess Naz. Not once but twice. Lays it off to Clinton, and England are over the halfway line with Jess Park. Oh, she almost managed to steer it round Lebohang Ramalepe, but Ramalepe, experienced player, 104 caps for South Africa, stood up really well there. And South Africa have it on the halfway line with Kgatlana and will work it out to this right-hand side. And Motlahalo. So South Africa in possession outside the centre circle. England it is leading by a goal to nil, courtesy of that goal from Leah Williamson. And we talk about how she needed that, Rachel, with the performance on Friday night. It wasn't just Williamson, but the whole back line didn't do themselves justice by any stretch of the imagination. But, you know, big call by Sarina Wiegman to leave her in, to put Millie Bright on the bench. It was always expected that Alex Greenwood, who many fans have been clamouring to start it in the biggest games, would get game time tonight. But would it be Bright? Would it be Williamson starting alongside her? It's Williamson, and now it's England coming forward. Scoop ball by Grace Clinton, won't be reached by Jess Park. And Swart has it, the South Africa goalkeeper.
Could call it a big call to start Leah Williamson, but she's, you know, a European Championship winning captain for England. She's a big, huge player who needs minutes in an England shirt and justifies her minutes. And you know what, not every England game you're going to be competing for major honours or is actually going to go perfectly. If you look at England over the last sort of two or three years, you might not think that that's the case, but you know, they've risen to that platform that England are now at, and it hasn't always been easy. And you know, these last few games for England have certainly not been easy. They've not had it all their own way, and these are little waves and dips and part of the journey of being an England player that, you know, some of these who've only been in the squad for a couple of years won't have necessarily experienced, but they'll be much better players for experiences such as that against Germany.
So England leading by a goal to nil. Georgia Stanway in possession on the halfway line. Elsewhere in the League Cup, Southampton have taken the lead against Stoke. That is midway through the first half, and it's goalless between Brentford and Sheffield Wednesday. Early stages there as Jess Naz has it on the left-hand side. Lays it off to Esme Morgan, playing at left back for England. One of 8 changes that Sarina Wiegman has made for this game. That ball back to Naz. She will reach it, swings it across, and Kaylin Swart as well watches it all the way. Playoff action for the other home nations as they try to reach Euro 2025, as England give the ball away again. It was Greenwood that time, but poor ball forward by South Africa, and Maguire won't reach Kgatlana, and England tidy up over on the left-hand side. So These are the semi-finals. They're trying to reach the finals, the rest of the home nations. It's goalless at half-time between Northern Ireland and Croatia. That's 1-1 on aggregate. Wales are 1-0 up against Slovakia at half-time, so 2-2 on aggregate. And Scotland have taken the lead against Hungary. Half an hour gone in that game. So Scotland leading by 2-0. So very, very finely poised for Northern Ireland and Wales. Their ties are level. Scotland going very well against Hungary as they look to reach those playoff finals, which will be 2 legs and will take place later this autumn as they look to make it through, like England, to the Women's Euros in Switzerland next summer. Here is Leah Williamson, the goal scorer on the night in this friendly here in Coventry against South Africa on 5 Sports Extra. Here is Le Tissier. Exchanges passes with Williamson, and Le Tissier plays it across. I think every single member of the England back line has now given it away. Le Tissier, the latest to do that, but well won back by Grace Clinton. Here is Beth Mead, just inside the South Africa half. Turns on a sixpence. Nice work by the Arsenal forward and lays it off to Georgia Stanway. And now Leah Williamson, England's goal scorer against the reigning African champions. Out to the right hand side she goes, and Le Tissier, and once more Georgia Stanway as England look to slow the play down and pick their way through the pink shirts. As Leah Williamson advances forward to the edge of the area, and Beth Mead lays it off to Jess Park, central position, and now Grace Clinton. Nice ball through to Chloe Kelly, who'll find Le Tissier down this right hand side. She's got past a marker. Le Tissier down to the byline, trying to pick the cross, and the header across and into the back of it. And England have their second goal of the evening. Le Tissier congratulated for the cross. Grace Clinton was in there finishing off for England, and she receives the congratulations of her teammates. And England are 2-0 up against South Africa.
Not for a very long time have we had Manchester United player to Manchester United player assist and goal for England, for the Lionesses. But what a combination. Le Tissier took her time, it was an excellent run, little 1-2 with Jess, with one of the attacking players for England. Lovely 1-2 round the corner. Le Tissier looked up, she had a couple of options, she had Jess Park, she had Grace Clinton, and she picks out Grace Clinton brilliantly. She had the better leap, the better timing of the run, completely unmarked, but a wonderful downwards header into the side netting. Nothing at all that Kaylin Swart in the South African goal could do about that.
Really good goal, really good link-up play, as Rachel Brown-Finnis says. And that Manchester United connection between Le Tissier and Clinton, you know, we've seen it pay the ultimate dividends there, but it's been so impressive, hasn't it? And particularly with Le Tissier, who, let's not forget, plays at centre-half for Manchester United. I mean, she has played as a right-back during her career as well, but she's absolutely bombing forward at every opportunity. And that link-up between Clinton and her is something to watch, as Swart is closed down by Jess Naz, looking for a goal on her full England debut. But Swart does do enough, the South Africa goalkeeper, and plays it out to the right-hand side.
Well, Le Tissier is an excellent athlete, phenomenal athlete, but he's so strong. Manchester United captain this season, leads that back line wonderfully well as a right centre half alongside Millie Turner from Manchester United. But if you get the nod to play anywhere when you're one of those players who's just starting out your senior international career, then absolutely you adapt and you play there. She has played there, as you mentioned, for England as well during the youth setup. She's still only 19, I think.
And England have doubled their advantage. Header by Grace Clinton down into the bottom corner. England 2, South Africa 0. So England with the throw on this near side. Le Tissier preparing to take it. So let me bring you back in, Rachel, on the question that we were going to ask about 10 minutes ago, and then a lot's happened since then. Is this England performance about the changes, about new connections, or is it about the calibre of opponent dipping?
It's always going to be a combination of the two, but when you're playing against, when you're England and you're playing against in every capacity a lower ranked opposition, you go out and you put your game plan to them. Absolutely, you do not worry about what South Africa do. So it's all about England's performance tonight. It's not about who you're playing, it's not about playing a lower ranked team, it's about bringing your A game. And tonight it hasn't been the A game just yet. There's been glimpses of that, and there's been some excellent build up of play, some good link up, some excellent overs from Beth Mead, attacking play. I like the way that Jess Naz and Chloe Kelly have switched wings, causes different problems for the South Africa defence. Grace Clinton's been excellent. Jess Park down the middle I think's been wonderful too. So lots of good stuff with a very much changed England team.
Grace Clinton has just given away a free kick on the edge of the South Africa penalty area, just a little too exuberant there, but it is one of those things, isn't it, as South Africa prepare to take this goal kick, trailing by 2-0. You know, you look across this pitch and it's Clinton and Park and Le Tissier so far who have really stood out for me, and I would say particularly Clinton and Le Tissier, and they are players that many fans have been saying, well, look, let's give them a chance, let's see what they can do. Their club form has been so good, as the offside flag goes up against South Africa over on the far side. Club
form and international form, or being part of an international squad, are so different. I mean, Jess Naz, I'm really pleased that she's been given a chance in the seniors, because she's been running riot for club, has been excellent, but you can still see there's so much more development to happen with a player of Jess Naz's calibre, decision making, elements of that. But you can't just bring a player into the England fold and then start them straight away. It just doesn't happen nowadays. You know, that's something that has to build. And going back again to being part of the squad, this is a very much changed team tonight, starting 11 tonight. The expectations of what an England player's standards are is exactly the same across the whole squad, and that's something that the players filling in tonight or starting tonight have to replicate.
Here is Alex Greenwood in possession for England, midway through the South Africa half. Motlohala gets a foot in, and it will be cleared away by South Africa up towards the halfway line, but intercepted well by Alex Greenwood. And now Le Tissier whips the ball forward. That's brilliant. Grace Clinton takes it in a stride. Again, the Manchester United connection really paying off there. Out to the right hand side, and Chloe Kelly. Now back to Clinton once more. Stanway's there as an option, and here she is midway through the South Africa half. England 2, South Africa 0 here on 5 Sports Extra. Scotland on the night have doubled their lead against Hungary. 7 minutes to go until half time in that one, so they are 3-0 up now on aggregate, so they look to reach the playoff final for the Women's Euros next summer, which England have already qualified for. It would be Scotland's third major tournament, having been to the Euros in 2017 and the World Cup in 2019. They've got a playoff final to navigate, but they're navigating their semi-final very well indeed, as Motlohala gives the ball away to Jess Naz just outside the penalty area. England looking for this third goal. Beth Mead plays it out to the right hand side, and Chloe Kelly tricking her way down to the byline. Will she get the ball across? She plays it into the South African players, who then clear away, but the ball had gone behind before Kelly could do that, and it goes out for a goal kick to South Africa. Rachel Brown-Finnis.
England have got to play the ball a little bit quicker, with a bit more tempo. As soon as you start playing little 5-yard passes, holding on to the ball, taking 2 touches, 3 touches, you just saw South Africa just bank up there. There was no space for England to play through. England have to find solutions, though. If they find themselves in that congested area, which they're going to against teams who pose less of a threat, they have to find ways of playing intricate, quick passes through teams, through banks of 4 or 5 at the back, 4 just in front of the back line. It's difficult, but it's something that England have to become accustomed to playing against.
Motau has the ball on the right hand side for South Africa. Stanway gets the foot in, and it goes out for a throw to the reigning African champions, up against the reigning European champions England, who lead by 2-0. And a clean sheet is going to be so key this evening as well, because that is something that England have really struggled for in recent times. Just 4 clean sheets in their last 18 games. They shipped 4 goals against Germany at Wembley on Friday. It's the first time they've conceded 4 goals in a single game under Sarina Wiegman, as Kesan has it out on the right hand side, and this is a good run down to the byline, and South Africa almost managing to make decisive contact there. Maguire it was with the initial effort that ends up connecting and bouncing harmlessly into the gloves of Mary Earps. But I tell you what, if Thembi Kgatlana had got a hold of that as she went for the flying scissor kick on the penalty spot, in the end the ball sailed past her. I tell you what, that would have been something pretty special, Rachel.
It would have been, but it's just not good enough from England. I think it was Esme Morgan this time giving the ball away down that left-hand side, a pass trying to thread into a player that just wasn't going to ever stick. And those simple turnovers, and you've seen how quickly South Africa countered. And again, I go back to better opposition will punish it.
Well, that is what we saw on Friday against Germany. Those defensive weaknesses that have been evident for England for so long, they came up against the side that finally made the most of them as Greenwood plays the ball into the area. Clinton's in there, commits the foul, and it's a free kick to South Africa. Just got to be a little bit careful, Grace Clinton. She scored the second goal for England tonight after the opener from Williamson. She's having a really good game, but she's giving away quite a few free kicks, and you just wonder whether the referee's going to start totting those up in her mind.
That's Grace Clinton's game. She's a physical player. She's a really strong athlete. She's technically fantastic. She reads the awareness of what her position requires really, really well. I've no issue at all with how Grace Clinton's playing. I really like the look of her and Jess Park down the middle of the pitch. George Stanway playing in more of a holding role tonight.
Leah Williamson ushering the ball out of play. Motlahalo can't reach it, and Letitia takes the throw for England. In field now to Georgia Stanway. Midway through the England half. Jess Park picks it up on the halfway line, away from Kesan. Natolo Kesan. The sister Sinatolo Kesan hasn't really been able to get into the game so far, as England have the free kick just inside their own half, and Natolo Kesan is spoken to by the referee. She has a enormous pink headband over on that right hand side, and South Africa's streaming forward now. Chip ball into the penalty area, and Maguire's in there, and she almost managed to poke that past Mary Earps as well. In the end, she steers it wide of the post, but again, Rachel, it's what you just said a couple of minutes ago. Better opposition could well have punished England there.
Yeah, managed to get goal side of Maya Letitia, who was heading back, but unless you get goal side, you have to get goal side. So the ball's being dribbled down the right hand side, it's crossed in, the player at the back post just came straight across Maya Letitia, should have side footed it home, simple as that. It was far too easy. Maya Letitia caught the wrong side. It was the simplest of finishes, really. We'll get away with it.
Yeah, another big chance for Maguire, who missed a glorious opportunity, courtesy of some very good on the line defending by Grace Clinton to equalise very shortly after Leah Williamson had put England ahead. England have since gone 2-0 up here on 5 Sports Extra in this friendly here in Coventry, as South Africa win possession but are deemed to have fouled Chloe Kelly, their left back Karabo Dlamini, and it will be a free kick to England, taken quickly, too quickly, says our referee Maria Sole Ferreira Caputi, and England told to take the set piece once again because she's not happy with the fact that South Africa haven't reset yet. So Leah Williamson over this, Serena Wiegman out on the edge of her technical area. What, Rachel, do you think will have pleased Serena Wiegman most so far from this first half?
I think the way that they started, this last 10 minutes, there've been a real lull in attacking opportunities for England and some real key defensive errors. The way that South Africa have got in down both wings on occasions and have been so open. It's only the poor finishing of South Africa that has ensured that Mary Earps still has that clean sheet, albeit one fantastic goal line saving tackle from Grace Clinton. But in this last 10 minutes, things have got a little bit sloppy.
There goes Williamson, plays it in field to Chloe Kelly, who's in the number 10 at the moment. Very fluid forward line at the moment for England, as Maya Letitia has it out on the right hand side. And now Leah Williamson, the captain, scored on her 50th cap to England's other goal scorer Grace Clinton, who fires over from 30 yards, looping the shot over the bar. South Africa have a player down. It's Sinakolo Kesan, her white red headband. She's just sat down midway through the South Africa half. Southampton now 2-0 up against Stoke. 9 minutes to go in that first half in the League Cup. Scotland still leading Hungary by 2-0 on the night, 3-0 up on aggregate. Wales just underway in the second half, 1-0 up against Slovakia, that's 2-2 on aggregate. And Northern Ireland, an hour gone in their game now with Croatia, still goalless, 1-1 on aggregate. So very finely poised. Those the second leg of the semi-finals of the playoffs to reach the Women's Euros, which England have already reached and will be looking to defend their crown out in Switzerland next summer. Stoppage in play here because the players are coming over to the touchline because the South Africa goalkeeper Kaylin Swart has gone down, Rachel Brown.
Yeah, she was holding her back and she's been trying to writhe around to try and release that back. what I mean by that is I've had SI problems, sacroiliac joint down the bottom, and if muscles tighten up around it, it can really, I mean, it's unbelievably painful. Hopefully that's the worst case, not the worst case, but something that she can come back from, because she's marshalled the back line reasonably well. The 2 goals that have been conceded, she's not been able to do anything with at all. And they need her out there, South Africa.
Well, cheers from the crowd as some of the players are warming up down this left-hand side. Mary Earps readjusting her gloves on the edge of her penalty area. She's not had much to do, Rachel. How do you more broadly see this battle between her and Hannah Hampton to be England's #1 heading to the Euros next summer?
Well, Mary Earps came in when Sarina Wiegman started her managerial journey, and it was between Ellie Roebuck and Mary Earps. And Ellie Roebuck had a few instances of injury, and that's how Mary Earps got in, impressed Sarina Wiegman, and stayed in, and has played the best, been the best goalkeeper that she could ever have produced. The standard of goalkeeping that she's brought the standard of goalkeeping worldwide up to a new level, in my opinion. But Mary Earps has moved club. She moved from Manchester United to PSG. She has had an injury which allowed Hannah Hampton to come in, who had a troubled time at Villa, had a troubled time in a little period with Sarina Wiegman at England. Sarina Wiegman, I think, has managed that situation excellently, and credit to Hannah Hampton, she's come in and done what was required of her to be back in the squad, and when called upon, generally, I think has been excellent, and at club for Chelsea has been excellent. It's really on a knife edge. Sometimes it comes down to experience, and obviously Mary Earps has more of that, but Hannah Hampton's not a newbie anymore. She's been in that England environment a lot, and she's established herself as Chelsea #1, so it's really difficult to call.
Well, Kaylin Swartz, the South Africa goalkeeper, is back up to her feet, having received treatment, and sends the ball long over the halfway line. It won't be reached by Catlana though, and England can build again. So elsewhere in the League Cup, Brentford are still leading Sheffield Wednesday by 1-0. That is midway through the first half, and you can listen to that match over on BBC Radio 5 Live here on 5 Sports Extra. We're delighted to have your company here in Coventry. England leading South Africa, the reigning African champions, by 2-0. South Africa ranked 50th in the world to England's 2nd, so it is a game that England are expected to win, but of great interest are these 8 changes that Sarina Wiegman has made, and just how much we'll be able to tell about how England's performances might be improved or worked upon going forward with some of these players perhaps involved, as South Africa in possession with Motlahalo on the edge of the centre circle. But they have got in a couple of times, South Africa, and again those defensive questions are still there, and it has been the same specific issues of England giving the ball away in poor positions, as they did so to their great cost against Germany at Wembley, losing that game 4-3 on Friday night. As the ball goes out of play for a throw to England, and Beth Mead frustrated because the referee is just telling her not to take it from that position, so she'll leave it for Esme Morgan to come up from left back, and she throws the ball forward. Here is Jess Naz making her first start for England, but she can't keep it in, and the ball goes out of play deep in South Africa territory, and they take the throw up to Sinatola Kesan. She's lost out, but legally so, says our referee, and it will be a free kick to South Africa. Just on Jess Naz making this first start, Rachel, what have you made of her performance so far?
She's looked lively, and she certainly doesn't look out of place for, you know, her first start. I like the way that, as you mentioned, Vicky, that it's been a fluid front four really, with Jess Park stepping in as a centre forward on occasion to make it a 2. None of those front four though have really produced sort of the spark that England have required, that any of those 4 would have really wanted to do to have impressed Sarina Wiegman. And it's not just because of those front 4, I'm not isolating them as a unit, but I'd like to see more Chloe Kelly get going at players. We've seen how devastating she can be, running at players, getting in the box. The same with Jess Park. I think her performances at Manchester City are maturing. Jess Naz is having her first full season coming back from her ACL injury at her club. So she's just going to get better and better. It's great to see, Beth Mead being that senior forward now.
Stoppage in play here because Matau is down for South Africa. Referee tried to allow play to go on, but she stayed down, so the medical staff are now on. Yes, Beth Mead, now 29 years of age. She's just still got a baby face, hasn't she? I just think of her as being 21, but no. 29 years of age, the Golden Boot winner and player of the tournament at the Euros a couple of years ago. So while we have this stoppage and while England's players have a few dispersed conversations leading by 2-0, out of what we've seen so far, Rachel, and we've got over another half to play, are there players that you feel are ready to really stake a claim to boot somebody else out of the starting lineup against the USA when they play at Wembley at the end of November?
I like the look of Grace Clinton has just stepped in, albeit she's only got a handful of senior caps, but having had that absolutely amazing season under her belt for Spurs last season on loan, she's stepped up a couple of levels, absolutely. So she looks fresh, looks dynamic, she fits in so well, looks unbelievably assured in that number 8 or 10 position. She's impressed me so far.
Whistle's gone again.
Yes.
This time a strong challenge by Georgia Stanway, and it will be a free kick. I think Stanway has hurt herself a little bit there as well, and it's Nokolo Kisan who is down. So a little bit stop-start at the moment as Kisan does get back to her feet, and Stanway's all right as well and limps away.
You play a team like this, they're going to stop it, slow it down, whether it's momentum you're getting in the last 5 minutes of the first half. They're going to be tired after absolutely getting battered against Denmark on Friday. They're going to be tired. You're going to see more of this until the whistle's blown for half-time, and certainly more of it in the second half as well.
Out to the left-hand side goes South Africa, but Dlamini won't keep that in. And Maya Le Tissier takes the quick throw for England. Yes, 5-0, as Rachel says. South Africa lost to Denmark on Friday. It was actually 0-0 at half-time, but it could have been 5-0 to Denmark at half-time. It ended up 5-0 after the second half. It's 2-0 here that they trail to England. Goals from Williamson and Clinton in this first half here on 5 Sports Extra as the ball is sprayed out to the left-hand side. Well cleared away by Ramalepe and scooped out of play by Georgia Stanway to prevent the South Africa counter. Rachel Brown-Finnis.
I'm sure in that little impromptu team talk when Kelly Swart went down, that's something that Sarina Wiegman will have impressed on her team this last 10 minutes. They're going to tire, they're going to sit back a little bit, they're going to make mistakes. We have to finish this half like the start of the first.
Here goes Jess Naz edge of the penalty area. She's well dispossessed at the back by Mbame. Picked up once more though by England, and Jess Park infield now to Grace Clinton, who's already got one this evening. She was then bundled over by Sinakolo Kesan, and that will be a free kick to England. Good position this, very central, about 25 yards out. Matau is back on the pitch incidentally. She lost the ball that started that England attack. But you can hear the noise rise around the Coventry Building Society Arena. Over 22,000 tickets sold for this game. There are a sprinkling of blue seats at the top of the tiers around us, but a decent crowd here tonight. And watching the Lionesses leading South Africa by 2-0, and perhaps able to add to their advantage before the break. Alex Greenwood, one of the players over it. She is such a set-piece specialist.
She'd fancy this one, Vic. The distance out allows, it's just enough distance to be able to get it up and down over the wall. Any closer to the edge of the area, that's a difficult thing to do.
You've got Beth Mead there as well. So Greenwood to the right, Mead to the left. It is Mead who takes it, and she swings it straight into the arms of Kaylin Swart.
Right intention over the wall, but just certainly not enough height or power, nothing to trouble Kaylin Swart.
Here comes South Africa, and they could be in behind. Here is Katlana into the penalty area. What a great run. Well held up by Greenwood on the edge of the box. Does manage to dig out the cross. Williamson is there to meet it. And Beth Mead trying to clear it. South Africa have won it back, but in the end, the miscued shot from Ramalepe, who got forward from right back, is behind as we enter A minimum of 4 minutes of added time at the end of this first half. But Catlana is one of their big players. She was part of the AFCON winning side back in 2022. She actually scored the goal that gave South Africa their first ever World Cup win. It was in the group stage against Italy. She got the late winner last summer to send them through to the knockout stages as well for the first time. Big player for them, and she has shown those glimpses of promise when she's managed to get in behind that England back line, but wasn't able to be decisive as Jess Naz picks the ball up, edge of the penalty area, out to the left-hand side, and Beth Mead, her cross is charged down by 3 pink shirts, and eventually South Africa will steer it back to their goalkeeper Swart, who launches the ball up towards halfway. Greenwood is there to meet it. Not high boot there from Stanley, but she did win the ball. Picked up now by Matau. For South Africa out to the left-hand side, she sends it to Maguire, who's had 2 really good chances for South Africa in this first half. They have opportunities, they just haven't punished the Lionesses, which is why England lead by 2-0. South Africa are forced back into their own half. Here is Motlahalo, plays it back to the centre half, Makabela, and she'll send it out right-footed, looking for that run of Catlana again. Mary Earps has come a long way outside the D. She clears big up and under up towards halfway. Sinatolo Kesan wins the header. It's brought down by Dlamini, and the left back will send it forward to Maguire. Good hassling and harrying by England in the purple shorts with the gold numbers on the back. As South Africa work it up towards the centre circle. Probably best spell of possession this for South Africa in this first half, under real pressure from England. But it's England who lead, the reigning European champions against the reigning African champions by 2-0. Here's Mbame, plays it forward now. Again, Motlahalo getting involved. Another big player for South Africa. It's whipped downfield by Dlamini and will be chased by Natola Kisan. And again, England almost getting themselves into a bit of a mix-up there. Esme Morgan trying to head it back to Mary Earps, just about got enough on it, but Earps had to be quick there to retrieve that ball. Rachel Brown finished it. Not one of those you want to see trickling towards you as a goalkeeper.
No, it wasn't a lot perched on that header from Esme Morgan, was there? It was a tricky one. As a goalkeeper, when you don't have much to do, sometimes you can start trying to find things to do. Clearance that Mary Earps made, was that necessary initially? Because there were 2 defenders chasing back to be able to clear the ball. Should she have just dropped off and let the defenders defend? No goal conceded, no mistake made, so I'll back that she on the pitch, Mary Earps, and considerably younger and fresher than myself, made the better decision.
And it's Earps in possession just outside her own penalty area. 30 seconds of added time to play in this first half here on 5 Sports Extra. And it is England who lead in this friendly by 2-0. Williamson got them underway, scoring on her 50th cap, and she's here now, playing the ball out to the left-hand side. And Alex Greenwood, now Morgan, sweeping it forward, bounces between Naz and Clinton, and will be steered back by Mbane all the way to Kaylin Swartz, who is on the edge of her penalty area, launches it long up towards halfway. Tolo Kesan will head that ball down, and that is the final action of the first half. And cheers in Coventry, because England have impressed. They've made 8 changes, and several of those changes have looked really lively. Grace Clinton getting on the score sheet after Leah Williamson on her 50th cap, one of only 3 players who kept their place tonight. Got things underway from the Lionesses. Again, we have seen defensive lapses at the other end. A better side than South Africa, you feel, would have got on the score sheet tonight. But in terms of the connections, Rachel, in terms of the energy, and particularly in terms of some of the players who've come in, it has been very good from England.
Yeah, there's certainly been parts of the game where it's been electric, certain passages of play. I'm just actually intrigued watching South Africa have their own team talk on the pitch before they go into the dressing room. It's not something that we see very often, but going back to your question, some impressive stuff, but some things that are not quite up to scratch with regards to the standards of the squad of England, of what Sarina Wiegman will expect, of what the girls will expect of themselves, and that's something that I'm sure Sarina Wiegman will be looking to address, to tidy things up, to tighten things up, and to then, go in and play an attacking football is far, far easier when you're not, a little bit edgy in defence.
So So scores elsewhere with its 2-0 here to England against South Africa at half-time. In the League Cup, Stoke have got a goal back against Southampton. That's at half-time as well. Southampton 2, Stoke 1. Still playing in the first half at Brentford. That's over on 5 Live. Brentford leading Sheffield Wednesday by a goal to 0. And good news for Scotland in the Women's Euro playoff semi-finals. It's their second leg against Hungary. They lead 2-0 on the night at half-time, 3-0 up on aggregate, so they look set for their playoff final. Still so tight for Northern Ireland and Slovakia. Wales leading 1-0 on the night against Slovakia. That's 2-2 on aggregate. And Northern Ireland goalless with Croatia. That's 1-1 on aggregate. 15 minutes ago in Northern Ireland's game. Midway through the second half in Wales's game. So finely poised as the home nations look to reach those playoff finals as they look to join England at the Euros next summer. So half-time here in Coventry, England 2, South Africa 0. We will be back for second half commentary shortly. For now, though, here's another chance to listen to Gabby George speaking to Ben Haynes on the Women's Football Weekly podcast. She spoke to Ben about her experience of being a black player in England and of her return to Manchester United after recovering from an ACL injury.
I used to turn up for the games and watch the girls, and like obviously it's a horrible feeling because you want to support the girls, you want them to win, but you want to be out there just as much as they are. And it's a feeling that it was my second ACL, so it was just thinking in my head like, how am I ever going to get back out there because it's so far away? And I'm a person that likes to enjoy the little wins, but I always think too far ahead, and that was what killed me in that rehab.
But that's a tough thing to do, right? When you've got such a long rehab in front of you, to almost try and think about the prospect of being back out on the pitch. There are so many hurdles to overcome on the way to getting back out on the pitch. It's almost beneficial to think in a bite-sized way, right?
Yeah, 100%, because after surgery you're learning to walk again, and obviously you've got to think like, how do you go from learning to walk again, then being able to run up and down the pitch and cross and shoot and tackle? So yeah, it's a crazy process. I think second time round it was probably one of the most difficult things that I've had to go through in my career, hopefully the last one, but it's a part and parcel of football, and that's what you sign up for. Like, it's a possibility, and it's about helping you build as a player. It's character building. I think I'm stronger than I was before, and that's a bonus. But now I just want to go out there, enjoy football, and be available for as many games as I can. Tell
us how you feel now. Do you feel almost like you're a new signing for your club, or are you so well integrated into the group that it's just a case of, this just feels like totally normal to me being back out there playing football?
Yeah, definitely. I think the girls were amazing throughout my rehab. I've said it all along. I don't think I would have coped in rehab without them. But yeah, I feel comfortable. I think it's when I came in, I was finding my feet on deadline day. Like I said, it was difficult, but now I've been there for a year, and even though I've not played with the girls, I feel like I'm embedded into the furniture. I mean, it's home for me. I'm Manchester United through and through, so yeah, I feel a lot more comfortable to go out there, and the girls are so supportive, and the staff, so yeah, it's been amazing.
It's wonderful that we've got you in here at such a perfect time in your career, and that we've got to chat to you as you're back out on the pitch, but also it's amazing that we get to speak to you at this time as well, because it's Black History Month too. I've seen so many different places you talk about inspirations and people that you looked up to, but I wondered if you could share with us, when you were a kid and you were coming through, who are the people that you looked up to that were inspirations to you?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of women's football, I've always said it, like, there was Rachel Yankee. I think she was somebody that looked like me, and someone that you could look at and think, oh, like, that could be me one day. At the time, I was a little winger as well, so we had a few similarities. Obviously, she was better, but that's why I got moved back. But no, she was one of the people that I looked up to, and then obviously I have my family that I'm really close to. But now my inspirations are my two little sisters. I've got two adopted little sisters that we've had since birth, and I just want to show them that you can be anything you want, no matter your skin colour, no matter what your hair's like, no matter anything. Like, you can do anything you want to do, and that's what I set out to do every single day.
How old are your sisters?
10 and 12.
Wow, really, at such crucial ages as well, and at an age where I think you're like a sponge, right? Anything that you hear or anything you see, you just absorb absolutely everything.
Yeah, definitely. I have one of them with me quite often throughout the week, and she is a sponge. But I think it's just amazing for them to have so many black people around them that they can look up to and they can see. I think, like I said, when I was growing up, I can only remember Rachel Yankee looking at. So it's nice that they've got so many people in and around them that they can go out and aspire to be like that.
Do you feel like there are more people that are in your line of sight that you can see now that you could aspire to be like that maybe there wasn't before?
100%. I think it's growing year on year. I think with the visibility of the game, obviously, it makes it even easier. I think when I was younger, probably one of the most key points was like it wasn't very visible. So I only ever seen the big games, and it depends what teams were in the finals and stuff. But I think now you see more and more football. I think women's football's on every single weekend without fail. The international games are on without fail. So yeah, I think with the visibility of the women's game growing, I think everything else comes along with that.
You mentioned before about hairstyle, and I thought this is such a beautiful quote from Lauren James. She said, "I used to go and watch Chelsea and I looked up to Drew Spence because we had the same hairstyle. I try my best to be a good role model to kids who want to play football and children just in general, as I hope I can encourage them to be themselves, even with the sort of little things in inverted quotes, like the crazy things that I do with my hair." Why are those so-called small things so important for young people to see?
Yeah, like I said, if you can see it, then you'll want to be it. And I think it's easier to see somebody that looks like you and has the same hairstyle as you and they go through the same phases as you. I think growing up with your little afros, it's really hard to style and stuff, so they'll know that everyone else has been through the same journey as them, and it's a little thing, but when you're a young kid, it means the world.
We were speaking to a colleague earlier on who was saying so many people will have no idea the amount of maintenance that goes into your hairstyle. Can you talk us through that?
Oh, not mine. No, I think, yeah, it's difficult. It depends what hairstyle you want to go through. I think growing up, I went through loads of different phases, loads of different styles. But now I've settled on my hair extensions, which is high maintenance to say the least. But no, I think growing up, I think that's what kids who are a little bit different will come across. And I have my little sister now and I've got to do her hair in the morning. I'm like,
do you get called into action every morning?
Every morning. For school. She had a school photos the other day and I had to do her hair for her school photos and she'd be like, "You've missed a bit." And I'm like, "I'm trying."
We've spoken a little bit about the landscape and the way that the game has grown so much in terms of diversity, but in terms of also visibility. Is there any area where you'd like to see it go further? Is there anything that comes to mind where you think, oh, it'd be great if we could just get a little bit further there?
Yeah, I think with women's football, it's growing year on year. And I think this year it's grew more than ever. I think if I would have sat here 2 years ago, it would have been like the visibility, the TV, but that's improving every single year. And I think it's growing at such a fast pace that we can't keep trying to improve everything because it's going to go too quick for us. So I think at the pace that it's growing now, I think we're going in the right direction and it's just continue to push barriers and get more girls into the game. I think I had a conversation with my other little sister. She was like, "Well, we never get to do football in school. We only ever do netball." And I was like, well, that was me when I was younger, but I'm sure the days have changed now. But I think like I said, getting more girls involved, making sure that every girl in school can do whatever sport they want to do. It's not just for the boys and not just for the girls. I think it's crucial that we carry on to improve that. You
mentioned before about the nature of being seen, how crucial it is to be seen. And you're one of just 24 black women to have played for the Lionesses. You must take enormous pride in knowing that you're someone that young girls of colour will have seen, will have thought, "Oh my God, I could do that. I could be like you."
Yeah, of course. It's obviously a proud moment for me and my family when you represent your country. I think one of 24 is like a big statement. Like we said, we're going to continue. That's going to keep growing and growing. And that's what we want to say.
It's so fascinating to me that you talk so much about your little sisters. They seem to play such a big role in your life, but also at the same time, when you have these moments where you think, oh, young people are looking up and being able to see me, they must be the people that come straight to your mind, right? When you're playing for the Lionesses or when you're playing professional football, knowing that you're kind of on some level doing it for them as well?
Everything that I do is for them. I think they've had a difficult start to life and I just want to show them that they can achieve what they want and give them a good path to go out there and do whatever they want to be, whether that be football. I think one of them wants to be a vet, whether that be a vet, but just to make sure that they have equal opportunities and they can do everything that they want to do and they enjoy life at the same time. I think life is roller coasters. You have so many highs and so many lows, but that's life. So it's just adjusting them ready for the real world.
Gabby, who do we need to look out for in your family that's going to take over the football world next?
Well, I've got a little nephew who's just signed his first pro contract at Salford.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, so I was buzzing for him. He used to message me for boots all the time. Now I'll be messaging him for boots soon. Actually, yeah. He's only, I think he was like one of the youngest players for Salford. He's 16 when he made his debut. And yeah, he's doing really well. So I'm hoping that he'll be the next one.
What's his name? Give him a big shout out.
Kyrell Malcolm.
Yeah, remember the name.
Remember the name.
Yeah, and remember your own boots as well. Stop trying to take everyone else's.
The Women's Football Weekly with Ben Haynes and Gabby George. Do catch up with that. You can listen on BBC Sounds. So, approaching the second half here in Coventry. England leading by 2-0 against South Africa in this women's international friendly. Leah Williamson and Grace Clinton with the goals in that first half. Rachel Brown-Finnis alongside me. In terms of the changes that were made for this game, we had 8 from the side that lost 4-3 to Germany at Wembley on Friday. Do you think Sarina Wiegman will make changes as we go into this second half? And if they do make changes, would you presume they've been pre-planned, that she's got a very definite idea for how she wants to use this game?
Yeah, I think she'll probably want to try the likes of Aggie Beaver-Jones. Whether she'll make a goalkeeper change. Anna Morehouse has not been capped for England before. She was my teammate at Everton when she was very young and clearly had potential. Has been brought in because she's playing excellently well in the NWSL for Orlando Pride. So it's an opportunity, isn't it, to make changes. You're 2-0 up. There's not much to lose by making changes. You'd expect any player who comes in for England would be looking to impress and therefore go all out to be compliant with the game plan, but also to impress her teammates, to impress the fans, to impress Sarina Wiegman. But whether there'll be wholesale changes, I don't think so, but I still expect a couple of changes at that 60 or 70 minute mark.
So scores elsewhere this evening. Half-time in both the League Cup ties. Southampton 2, Stoke 1. Stoke getting a goal back in that game. Southampton had led by 2-0 and Brentford 1-0 up against Sheffield Wednesday. You can listen to that match over on 5 Live. It is still so tight for the home nations in those women's Euro playoff semi-finals. Still goalless between Northern Ireland and Croatia. So 1-1 on the night. That's into the 89th minute. So they're heading for extra time there in this second leg of the playoff semi-final. Wales still 1-0 up against Slovakia on the night. 2-2 on aggregate. 15 minutes to go or so in that one. And Scotland 3-0 up now on the night against Hungary. 4-0 on aggregate. They're just approaching the hour mark in that game, but they look set for the playoff final. Scotland, incidentally, Republic of Ireland are 3-0 up against Georgia. That's 9-0 on aggregate, so safe to say they will be going through to the playoff final. I think we knew that, to be honest, after the first leg, which they won 6-0 about half an hour to go in that game. So England out for the second half in their all-purple kit with the gold numbers and lettering on the back. Still awaiting the return of South Africa, the reigning African champions, and here they come. In terms of South Africa, Rachel, what do we expect to see from them in this second half? They have had opportunities in this first half, but are there elements to which they can test England a little bit more?
Well, convert the chances. They've created chances. They've opened England up, certainly down the flanks. Even when centre halves have gone across to try and cut out the cross, they've not necessarily been able to do so, and it's only been poor finishing from South Africa that has really let England off. So convert those chances and it could easily have been 2-2 at half time. So it's pretty much more of the same from South Africa because they're banking up pretty well. Kaylin Swart has not been peppered. She's not had loads of saves to make at all. So working on the counter-attack has worked really well for South Africa.
Looks like we are going to see a change to South Africa at the break, because I can see Phalosa Biani warming up. So England ready to begin this second half. It will be South Africa to get us underway, all in their bright pink kit, wearing pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Well, a couple of changes. You said there might be a change in goal for England. There's a change in goal for South Africa. Andile Dlamini is on for Kaylin Swart, who was struggling with a bit of a back issue in the first half. And the second change sees Sinakola Kesan replaced by Kolosa Biani. So, changing goal. What's it like as a goalkeeper, Rachel, to... Yeah, it's just about to get underway in this second half here, Kelly, and it has been an impressive first half performance from England. There were a lot of questions after that 4-3 thrilling defeat to Germany as South Africa get us underway in this second half. England losing to the record European champions, the side they beat, of course, in the final of the Euros 2 years ago at Wembley by 4-3. A lot made as well of the fact that Sarina Wiegman didn't make any changes from their final Euro qualifier from that game. She made 8 changes here today, and some of those players have really come in and impressed. Rachel Brown-Finnis, former England goalkeeper, alongside me. We've seen goals from Leah Williamson and Grace Clinton. That gives England this 2-0 lead at the start of the second half. But which players have really stood out for you this evening?
Well, Grace Clinton with the goal obviously stands out on paper, but her performance has been really impressive, very mature. She's trying to find those pockets, as you do in a 10 or 8 role. Pockets between the back line and midfield, finding those little tiny movements to get the angles to be able to get on the ball in tight areas. She's also been a really good physical presence for England when needed. And that.
So Alex Greenwood on the ball here, early stages of this second half. England 2, South Africa 0 in this friendly. And here is Greenwood on the halfway line once again. We'll take you through the lineups in a moment, but let's just bring you back in, Rachel, on what it is like. Actually, we'll do that in a moment because Jess Park is darting away forward. Brilliant footwork from the Manchester City midfielder. Can't quite get the ball back from Chloe Kelly. She's gone down in the area, Jess Park, but I think she was already on her way down with the ball having already gone. And South Africa, lovely little layoff from Kesan. Intercepted though by Georgia Stanway. Here is Beth Mead, plays it in field to Grace Clinton. She's dispossessed well though by Karabo Dlamini, who plays it forward. Alex Greenwood will have to shepherd this away from Katlana and does so. Back to Mary Earps, who plays it very calmly back to Alex Greenwood. So yeah, what's it like as a keeper to come on at half time, planned or not?
Yeah, I made my debut against Germany when we were losing 4-0 at half time, and I just turned, well, I think it was 16, and for the manager to go, do you fancy coming on? And my honest answer inside was no, but of course I said yeah, I'd love to. But as a young goalkeeper coming on, it's daunting, but you're used to being at the deep end as a goalkeeper. You go in and you've either had zero experience as a young goalkeeper, you've sat on the bench, or you come in because of an injury. You don't come on to change a game. And in this instance, it's come on because Kaylin Swart was injured, hurt her back. But it's an opportunity. We talked about, how Mary Earps got in the starting position under Sarina Wiegman, how Hannah Hampton arguably is edging the starting role under Sarina Wiegman now because of injury. Go out there and you impress.
A lovely ball down the right hand side for Grace Clinton, infield to Chloe Kelly just inside the penalty area. Kelly trying to trick her way past but can't do so. Good defending by Mbane, the experienced centre half, and she wins a throw for South Africa over on the far side. So no changes for England at the break. Earps in goal, the back four of Letitia, Greenwood, Williamson and Morgan. Ahead of them it's Stanway and Clinton, who's been really impressive, with Kelly, Park and Mead supporting Jess Naz making her full England debut up front. South Africa with the throw deep in their own territory as they play it forward now. Here is Mutau, plays it in field to Kesan, who is challenged by Morgan and then Stanway, but she's done well, Kesan. She's held onto the ball there, and Motlahalo, one of South Africa's big players, part of that Africa Cup of Nations winning side a couple of years ago, picks it up. But England have it now, so they win it back with Beth Mead, and now Stanway. Park, dispossessed almost by Motlahalo, but Park really tenacious, keeps hold of possession until she's very well challenged by Matau. Nice little layoff by Katlana, but she's got nobody there to help her, the number 11 for South Africa, and England are able to steer it all the way back to Mary Earps. Greenwood now in possession. There's been so much talk about Alex Greenwood and whether she should be regularly starting in this defence, not just against the likes of South Africa. How have you assessed her performance, Rachel?
Well, she was one of the players of the tournament in the World Cup, absolutely no doubt, stepping in for Leah Williamson. She's an experienced player, she's an excellent player, first name on the team sheet for Manchester City. It's a really kind of hard pill to swallow, bitter pill to swallow for Alex Greenwood every time she finds herself not starting. So tonight's performance, reasonable. Should be a few things where she'll have wanted to tighten up. She would have wanted to do better, but her standards are world class. Her standards are super, super high, and she holds herself to account of those standards every single minute of every single match. She's one of the most professional players I've ever played alongside when we were at Everton, and she has done that throughout her entire career. She's a wonderful role model for all the players at Manchester City and all young lionesses watching on.
Grace Clinton dispossessed there, but illegally so, by Tisetso Makubele, and it will be a free kick to England, a third of the way inside the South Africa half. So South Africa with their change in goal at half time. Dlamini is on. She was number one actually as they won the Africa Cup of Nations back in 2022, but has lost her place since then to Kaylin Swart, who has gone off at half time after picking up that little back problem. The back four of Ramalepe, Mbane, Makubele and Dlamini. Ahead of them Motlahalo, Mutau and Magaya, with Biana, who's coming at half-time, Katlana and Kesan up front, as Grace Clinton very gingerly gets back up to her feet. And England have this free kick a third of the way inside the South Africa half. So 2-0 England still lead here. Let's see how the other home nations are doing. They're into extra time, Northern Ireland against Croatia. That's finished goalless on the night. It's 1-1 on aggregate, so extra time in the second leg of that playoff semi-final. Wales, 5 minutes to play, 2-2 on aggregate, 1-0 they lead Slovakia on the night. And Scotland midway through the second half, 3-0 up on the night against Hungary, 4-0 they lead. They will be going through to the playoff final. As for the Republic of Ireland, 9-0 on aggregate, they lead Georgia. But for Wales and for Northern Ireland, it is very much in the balance as they try and reach these playoff finals to get to the Women's Euros, along with England, who've already confirmed their place as defending champions in Switzerland next summer, as Jess Naz has the ball over on the right-hand side as well, dispossessed by Dlamini, but it's picked up once again by England, playing in the all-purple kit with the gold lettering and numbers on the back. South Africa all in bright pink. As Leah Williamson has it on the halfway line, plays it forward, laid off by Chloe Kelly. Maya Le Tissier steers it forward to Grace Clinton, who's pops up on the right wing quite a lot in this second half. Nice link up with Le Tissier once again, but it's won back by South Africa. They're dispossessed, but the referee has spotted an earlier foul, and it will be a free kick to South Africa just outside their own penalty area. Rachel Brown-Finnis.
It'd be interesting to have heard what Serena Wiegman said at half time, not just reflecting on the first half, but looking ahead to this second half, and which players she might have said, look, you got 10, you got 20 minutes, and then we're going to make changes. I expect likes of Jess Park might make way for Ella Toone. I think Ella Toone still needs to keep building momentum and confidence in her performances, having hit the ground running as a senior international.
Free kick to England, just inside the South Africa half. 7 minutes gone in this second half, and England still lead 2-0. Great night for Scotland. This is turning into, in the Women's Euro Championship playoff semi-final. They lead Hungary by 4-0 on the night. 5-0 on aggregate as Esme Morgan steers it forward, looking for Jess Naz, turns on a sixpence outside the penalty area. Almost has it stolen off her, but it's done really well there to feed it through to Jess Park. And Park pulls it back across the 6-yard box, and Mead can't make the most of it. South Africa get the foot in. Mead can't snaffle up the follow-up, and it's cleared away up towards the halfway line by Dlamini.
Jess Naz did brilliantly well there, didn't she? Creeping through that back line, feeding it through to Jess Park. Just didn't have the precision, Jess Park. The cutback was the obvious one on. A couple of players had stalled on the penalty spot. Just didn't get enough angle on it really to get it past the defenders and really cause an obvious chance for England. Just detail, isn't it, that needs to improve for England.
Le Tissier in possession. She's well closed down by Dlamini, the left back, but manages to find Leah Williamson as Sweet Caroline rings around the Coventry Building Society arena. And England have given the ball away, and here goes Katlana in on goal. One back for South Africa, surely. Yes, it is. She's beaten Mary Earps, and huge celebrations from South Africa's manager Desiree Ellis and her coaching staff on the touchline, because South Africa, ranked 50th in the world, have scored against England. The defending European champions, ranked second in the world, And again, on a night that overall has been positive for England, we're saying the same thing, Rachel Brown-Finnis, defensive frailties, and it's cost them.
Simple breakaway. It's a wonderful finish, a really assured finish, low and hard, down into the left-hand corner. But once again, it's just simple possession that's given away from England. It's sloppy, it's un-England-like, it's hustled away, hustled. The possession's won back by South Africa, but just far too easily. It's disappointing. Mary Earps did everything she could. It was a really good, sharp finish. Tears away from the back line of England, but so England starting a little deeper the second half. They got caught too tight there.
Beth Mead tearing away down this left-hand side. Esme Morgan plays it in. It won't reach now, so I think was offside. And South Africa will clear away out for an England throw.
But it's Kat Lana was a stunning finish.
It absolutely was. One clean sheet in 6 now for England. The 0-0 draw with Sweden, which was a key one. It got them that point that they needed to qualify as runners-up. And you go back even further, 4 clean sheets in their last 19 games against Sweden, Republic of Ireland, Scotland and Belgium. And something that Leah Williamson has said in the past about that in recent months, and it'll be interesting to see if it comes into play here. Pressure and nerves come in defensively when you don't score that many. It's not a lack of concentration, it's not a lack of effort. Are we going to see that from England? Because they've had chances to score more than the 2. They haven't done so, but we said it in the first half, Rachel. South Africa had chances as well. A better side would have punished England, and in the end, the reigning African champions have punished England.
Yeah, Vicky, you're right. And we said England could have scored more than 2. Well, South Africa could have scored more than 2 as well in that first half, and that's just the facts. They've been, I'd say, uncharacteristically easy to open up. But when you reel off the stats, then it hasn't always sort of. It's maybe untrue, kind of my sentiment about the centre halves, but Mary Earps sort of went a long spell of clean sheets and they took great pride in that. And certainly in big tournaments, they've been so hard to break down. Last-ditch defending, last-ditch blocks, brilliant saves by Mary Earps, all come to mind. But certainly there has been a dip-off since the World Cup. Qualification wasn't as easy as it should have been in the European Championships, as you said. 0-0 was key though. When they needed to do it, they absolutely pulled it out and could do it. You just want to see, a team that's ranked so highly, that wants to be number 1 in the world, that wants to continue winning trophies, doesn't play this open.
South Africa with defending to do. Well, Chloe Kelly's done really well there. Good block in the end by Dlamini, the left back. I think Naz again might have been offside on the edge of the 6-yard box, but the block is made. It's a corner to England over on the far side. England 2, South Africa 1. 57 minutes gone here on 5 Sports Extra. And it is worth pointing out as well that all but one of the back 5 were changed for this game. And we've still seen individual errors from pretty much every player. Perhaps not Mary Earps, but she hasn't really had much to do in terms of making an error. But in terms of the back line, again, we've seen England players giving the ball away. And that is going to be a talking point, as that corner is well marshalled by South Africa. England back inside their own half. Played over the halfway line. Ramapele will get there and clear away. Chested down by Notolo Kesan. A lively 24-year-old, as South Africa comes streaming down the left-hand side and using their pace to good effect. It's Kat Lana who scored that goal that's got them back in this against England. The side ranked 48 places below England in the world rankings. Yes, they're the reigning African champions, but they were thumped 5-0 on Friday by Denmark, and it could have been more. This is a game that England, even having made 8 changes, and you put that in the context of people wanting there to be changes because the performances haven't been at the level that we know they can be. This is a game that England should be winning well, and should be winning comfortably. It will be of huge frustration that they have conceded and not kept that clean sheet, and it is only the 1-goal advantage they have, leading by 2-1 here on 5 Sports Extra. It's Georgia Stanway plays it forward, now Chloe Kelly, and field to Grace Clinton, who's probably been England's player of the match so far. Loops it out to the right hand side. It's intercepted by Karabo Dlamini, left back over on that far side. will be a throw taken by England, and Leah Williamson, who got things underway inside the opening 13 minutes, plays it forward to Jess Naz, and now back to Georgia Stanway, picked up by Esme Morgan. And now Jess Naz on the turn. She's crowded out by pink shirts, but still manages to get the shot away on the edge of the D. Comes to Chloe Kelly, who goes for the curler off the bar. What a super effort from Chloe Kelly. Suddenly she sprang to life and rattles the woodwork, and it remains England 2, South Africa 1.
What a strike from Chloe Kelly. Barely had any chances in the first half. I don't recall England, other than Leah Williamson goal, which was sort of slotted in, didn't take any opportunities from outside the box. Certainly not Chloe Kelly cutting in off the right and absolutely firing it with her left foot. It was a great effort, and England are going to make changes.
Yeah, it's going to be a quadruple change for England. They can make up to 6 in this friendly, and they're struggling with the PA announcers here, so we will tell you what's going on. Alessia Russo is replacing Jess Naz. Lucy Bronze is on for Esme Morgan, and I can see Fran Kirby and Ella Toon down there as well. Kirby, who had missed the Germany game with a minor injury, but is fit enough to play some part here. She's about to come on, so Fran Kirby is coming on for Jess Park, and Ella Toon will also enter the field. Let's just wait and see what... They're having to use 2 boards here. Oh, they finally got the PA working as well. So that final change will see Grace Clinton replaced by her Manchester United teammate Ella Toon. We've talked a lot about Grace Clinton. Just give me your assessment of Jess Park.
Looked sharp, looked lively in the opening 10-15 minutes, and then just whether South Africa got a handle of her, her movement I don't think was quite sharp enough to be able to get on the board, to constantly be making those little angled moves. She duoed up well with Jess Naz when she went pretty central, but just didn't quite look up to match pace, didn't look quite as effective as we've seen her at Manchester City. But as I've said, senior level international football is a whole different ball game. See, May Letitia has gone to left back in those substitutions. Esme Morgan.
And South Africa could be in again here. It's Kat Lana approaching the penalty area, scoops the ball across. It's calmly brought down by Lucy Bronze and then cleared away by Leah Williamson. But again, the pink shirts flooding forward, and they are starting to cause a real danger on the counter-attack as Alessia Russo picks it up.
I like the change. I thought this is a game Lucy Bronze needed someone to grab the game by the scruff of the neck. We weren't gathering lots of possession. We didn't seem to have a lot of intensity about it, and Lucy Bronze brings intensity. What a tackle that was, by the way, from May Letitia in the newly crowned left-back position. Really laid one on Ramalepe.
Yeah, she's still down, Leboang Ramalepe, and has a teammate over there who... Do you know what? I'm not sure how much she's helping here, because her teammate Mittal has first of all grabbed both of Ramalepe's knees and kind of pushed them back. Then she's grabbed both of her legs and kind of shaken them as if Ramalepe's a rug that she's trying to shake some dust off. Ramalepe has basically gone, thank you very much, could you stop, and jumped up of her own accord. Yeah, so it has kind of worked, but now she's down again. So
I mean, I think I prefer the physio to come on than some sort of self-care from my teammates, as much as it's well appreciated.
Yeah, and they now are coming on, so I don't know what Mittal was thinking of what she's doing there. Anyway, Ramalepe's getting some treatment. Equaliser for Stoke, who come from 2 goals down to level it up 2-2 with Southampton in the League Cup. That match midway through the second half. Brentford, 8 minutes into their second half against Sheffield Wednesday, they still lead by 1-0. Brentford, you can listen to that match over on 5 Sports Extra. So, still goalless on the night, 1-1 on aggregate in extra time between Northern Ireland and Croatia. 10 minutes gone in extra time, and Wales are into extra time with Slovakia as well. 2-2 on aggregate, 1-0 to Wales on the night. That's in the European Championship playoff semi-final second leg for the Women's Euros next summer. So on a knife edge for Wales and Northern Ireland as they look to get through to the playoff finals. Scotland 4-0 up still against Hungary, 5-0 on aggregate, 12 minutes to go in that. They are heading through. And Republic of Ireland as well, 9-0 aggregate up on Georgia, 10 minutes to go in that. Scores in League One, it's 1-1 between Lincoln and Northampton. Bolton are 3-0 up at Stevenage, and Stockport lead Reading at home by 4-1 in League Two. Fleetwood 2-1 up against Salford. So Ramalepe is off the pitch. I think she'll be having a word with Matau about that treatment that her teammate tried to give her. It's not on us all to be physios, is it? It's a very specialist role, and I don't think Matau's going to be doing that anytime soon. As the ball is all the way back with the South Africa goalkeeper, Andile Dlamini. And she launches it up towards halfway, and the lively Katlana, who's got South Africa back in this game. England 2, South Africa 1, 65 minutes gone here in Coventry on 5 Sports Extra. It's a friendly game, but anything other than victory tonight is going to put more scrutiny on Sarina Wiegman, more scrutiny on these players. She has given different players a chance tonight. Can they see this out? Here is Russo as the Mexican wave goes around in front of us. Lovely work by England down the right hand side. Little deflection on Bronze's ball in, and it's gathered by Dlamini.
And that's what we expect from Lucy Bronze coming on, isn't it? Overlapping runs, constantly being involved in the attack. Certainly in a game like today, when May Le Tissier is certainly more, now at left back, certainly more accustomed to staying home, staying in a defensive position. Absolutely, she'll just come more narrow, more central, May Le Tissier, as Lucy Bronze shoots up that right hand flank. And I'd expect simple turnover.
A ball given away by Ella Toom, but Maguire can't find Katlana, and Katlana would have been in again. You know, you just, I should have kept a tally. You know, number of times that an England player has passed it straight to the opposition.
Yeah, unforced errors it would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It's not in particularly dangerous positions or difficult positions, but it is becoming a real problem for England, and it's frustrating, I'm sure, for Sarina Wiegman to see that happening all over the pitch, really, and through every player, because that's it. You know, you change your starting lineup and change the players coming on. If they're all doing it, then what can you do? Lovely layoff by May Le Tissier, looking for the run of Chloe Kelly, but it's well cleared away at the back by South Africa, and will be shepherded out of play by Ramalepe, who is back on the field after receiving a bit of treatment, and she just wipes the ball on that pink shirt and prepares to take this throw for South Africa, deep in South African territory. And Sarina Wiegman watches on, her hands clasped behind her back. She was asked about the criticism of England and whether it's been fair. She said, doesn't matter. As England work it out to the right hand side, but they've lost it, and Maguire will bring it away for South Africa. She said, we look at what we do as a team, how we execute the plan, how we do the high press. How well would you say England have executed their plan today, Rachel?
Well, if the plan was exactly the same and to high press, I'm not sure quite how well England have done that. Certainly in the second half, with the substitute coming on, substitute goalkeeper coming on, Lamini, they're playing very short out the back. England certainly could set up a little bit higher and force an error in that area of the pitch. I think the intensity, bringing Russo on, bringing Toon on, bringing Bronze on. They're 3 players who are used to the big time, used to upping standards. Lucy Bronze is a real kind of dynamo, brings a huge amount of energy, a huge amount of pride in wearing that England shirt and what it means to her, what it's been the foundation of everything, kind of who she is, really.
South Africa preparing to make another change. Sibilele Owene is about to come on, but it's England coming forward, leading by 2-1, playing from right to left in the purple kit with the gold lettering in this second half, as Chloe Kelly just does one too many trick, and the ball is taken off her by Biani and cleared away by Dlamini. Matau then powerfully challenged by May Le Tissier, who did win the ball, but absolutely flattened Matau as well, who is sitting up and back up to her feet. And Katlana again has got the better of the England defence. She's racing towards the penalty area. She plays it to Maguire, and it's blocked away by Lucy Bronze. But again, those two are looking so dangerous. They're getting in behind those purple shirts of the England back line. And again, Rachel, a better side would have punished England and made it 2-2 by now.
It's Katlana who just bounced off Leah Williamson. Leah Williamson almost stood 2 square on, didn't brace for the impact. And it's Katlana who got away, just got the better physically of Leah Williamson on that occasion, and then put the afterburners on. And it was see you later.
Well, a few boos here because South Africa have a player down on the far side, so chance for England to have a little break. Owene has been told to go and sit back down, so I think they want to wait and see Desiree Ellis and her coaching staff whether there is a prolonged issue over here. But England with a chance to regroup and have a bit of conversation with Mary Earps. As we see a rerun of this chance again, Rachel, and again, Kat Lana is just causing so many issues, and if that ball is better to Maguire, and if Maguire is able to drive into the area rather than taking the shot on the edge of the box, I mean, it was a 2v1 there for South Africa.
Yeah, I mean, couple of ifs in there, Vicky, but you're right, absolutely. The fact that on the halfway line, Kat Lana got the better of Leah Williamson and absolutely power through. If she'd gone direct to goal, gone straight down the middle, then it would have been a real problem. The fact that she went on the outside, stayed wide of the goal, she had to square it across, then it wasn't the best ball, and then Lucy Bronze had come back and was covering and ultimately blocked the shot. You know, that all ran in favour of England, but a pretty, simple bit of defensive work that just wasn't good enough for England.
So Karabo Dlamini, the fullback, is just up to her feet and limping off, clutching the back of her left thigh over on the far side. It looked more like cramp than a hamstring injury, but we'll see. And Desiree Ellis is just going to keep her powder dry for now in terms of making that substitution with Olwene. Just see if Dlamini is able to continue for now as the ball is all the way back with Mary Earps. Rachel Brown-Finnis.
You can see why South Africa have had, have improved and have had their first evers getting through the World Cup group, etc. They're so dangerous on the attack. They've got players who've got a lot of caps now, and they're not a new fledgling team.
Oh, that's a brilliant ball to find Chloe Kelly, left-hand side of the area, fizzes it back across, can't pick out a purple shirt, and will be cleared away by Motlahalo. Advantage played as South Africa come forward, but a little miscommunication there. But again, England have given it away straight to Kat Lana. And the whistle has gone for a foul on Georgia Stanway. Gets a pat on the back from Mutau. But the whistle saves England there. And Kat Lana, she's having an absolutely storming second half. They're definitely playing better in this second half, South Africa.
Yeah, they're squeezing play. So Alex Greenwood got possession of the ball. Then it was she had to play it really quickly. Played it into Georgia Stanway, which was probably not the right ball because she was tightly marked. Had to play it the way she was facing, which was back towards England's goal. Not ideal situations, but a lot of these areas are being forced by South Africa. But England have just got to play smarter.
So final two changes for England. Lauren Hemp is on for Beth Mead, having missed out on the Ballon d'Or to Aitana Bonmati yesterday. And Leah Williamson is replaced by Millie Bright. Big hug for Millie Bright from Williamson, who gives the captain's armband to Bright as well. And Bright is on, Williamson is off. So all six changes utilised by Sarina Wiegman. And a word on Williamson, Rachel Brown-Finnis. She's been under a lot of scrutiny, both with Arsenal this season. Yes, she's suffered with concussion as well, which has limited her minutes, but they've had a really tough start to the season. Of course, their manager, Jonas Eidevall, leaving. And she had a really torrid game against Germany at Wembley, but she scored the opener here, England leading by 2-1. She was given the vote of confidence, winning her 50th cap by Sarina Wiegman. As South Africa come forward, Rachel's thoughts on Williamson in a moment, because Kat Lana could be in here. Flag stays down. Kat Lana in on goal to make it 2-2. What a goal! Flags up on this near side. We don't have the best angle. She did look off, Kat Lana, but we do have VAR. Let's see, Rachel, if it stays offside. But again, Kat Lana, what a player she's been in this second half, and what a finish that was.
It was an unbelievable finish. The arms went up of England. Talk about changes in the back line, that doesn't always help with regards to a synchronised movement to step up or to hold a line. That can make it difficult. Lucy Bronze absolutely belted it back to try and put Kat Lana off, but it was an absolutely brilliant finish. But obviously the decision upheld, offside it was.
Yeah, it has been upheld. We've restarted play and England have the ball inside the South Africa penalty area, but Dlamini has dived on it, the goalkeeper, all in bright red. I tell you what though, warning sign after warning sign after warning sign here for England.
Yeah, but do you know what? If the defence held the line, which they did, to play her offside, that's great defending. So finish it or not, if you're offside, doesn't even matter. So I'll award that as excellent defending to England on that occasion.
And I'm going to focus on how dangerous Kat Lana looks, and she could be in behind here again. Little bit of hesitation. In the end, Millie Bright comes and hacks that away before Alex Greenwood can get there. It's out to this left-hand side. Letizier's there. Stanway on the slide will poke it forward. Little slip by Ramalepe, but South Africa will steer it back.
Yeah,
just
she's
inside their own half.
Sorry, Vic. She's so fast, Catlana up front, that and neither centre half are getting tight to her. If you get tight, she cannot spin. You've got to get tight and you've got to wall a screener off.
And she could be in behind here, and the flag stays down. It's Catlana again. Brilliant block by England. It goes out for a corner, and that one was onside. She was in again, and it's a superb bit of defending in the end by England to send it behind for a corner. But again, Catlana is just running them ragged.
She's getting between the two centre halves, and she's done that this whole second half. Greenwood and Bright, as it stands at the moment, she's getting between them. One of them's got a lock on, one of them's either got to drop a little bit, certainly when there's no pressure on a ball. You know, that wasn't the case for this attack, but you've got to get tighter to make it harder for Catlana.
They played the corner short, South Africa. Maguire has it over on the far side. Pink shirts populating the penalty area as it's swung in, headed away by Alex Greenwood. And almost South Africa with the opportunity to equalise. Catlana, who scored to get South Africa back in it in this second half, going through again, and a brilliant block preventing her. But England living so dangerously against a side ranked 48 places below them. It's England 2, South Africa 1. So foul on Chloe Kelly just inside the England half. And a chance for a bit of a breather here with 14 minutes to go. England 2, South Africa 1. And again, Rachel, Sarina Wiegman, who is standing stoically on the edge of her technical area, I'm sure internally must be fuming, because the narrative from the first half was good performance by England, changes have been effective, couple of defensive lapses, but they haven't been punished. Now they're hanging on a bit here.
Certainly this last 5 minutes they are, absolutely. Catlana blasted through, offside, brilliant finish, could have been 2-2. Second one, brilliantly blocked by Lucy Bronze, and only that covering challenge at the death stops Catlana from equalising. They are living very, very dangerously, England.
So Olwene is eventually on for South Africa. Mutau has gone off as England bring it down this left-hand side with Alessia Russo, and once again the crowd in Coventry raises its voice. Here is Alex Greenwood. England 2, South Africa 1 here on 5 Sports Extra, as Letizier has it and sends it back to the halfway line, and forward they go to Fran Kirby, who's really not been able to get into the game since coming on in this second half. The Brighton player, as Dlamini, is well pressured by Chloe Kelly, but she's stood up well, and it's cleared away by Mbane up towards the halfway line. Stanway underneath it, picked up by Kessan, who squeezes it forward, intercepted by Mère Letizier. England still just inside their own half, and now Chloe Kelly sends it back to Alex Greenwood, and Letizier again a little bit short to Millie Bright, but she steers it away from Maguire. Catlana again is lurking. England moved the ball nicely though, as we head into the final 12 minutes plus added time. Elsewhere, scores this evening in the League Cup, it's still 2-2 between Southampton and Stoke, 1-1 now between Brentford and Sheffield Wednesday. You can listen to that over on 5 Live as Lauren Hemp has the ball on the right hand side, plays it into the penalty area. Motla Harlow is there, miscues the clearance though, and Hemp gets it back, still on the corner of the box, tries to find Ella Toon, but she's well dispossessed by Biana. And South Africa, who are a goal away from finding an equaliser against England, a side ranked 48 places above them. And here goes Catlana again. Oh, she's absolutely done Millie Bright for pace. It's Catlana. Earps makes a big save. England will clear it, and Bright, with a real rage in that kick, hoofs it up towards halfway. Well, I'll tell you what, Catlana's going to look at Millie Bright after that run and think, I've got the beating of you for pace and then some every single time, and she's going to be targeted.
It was really clever play from Catlana, because she dragged Millie Bright out wide to that right back position, and she didn't know whether to go or not, Millie Bright, and she didn't go, didn't get tight. So as soon as Catlana got the ball, she got on the turn, and when it's 1v1, you've got a pacey player like Catlana, not just pace, she's quality as well. And movement's exceptional.
And here she goes again in behind Catlana up against Millie Bright. He's done really well there. Uses her body, eases Catlana off the ball, and just hooks her right foot around the ball and takes it away from her on the edge of the tee. But again, it was a lovely ball by Mbane. They really are finding her with unerring accuracy at the moment, that South Africa back line, that midfield. And Catlana, she's just finding that space between the centre halves. Doesn't matter if it's Greenwood and Williamson or Brighton, Greenwood as it is now. Catlana's got the reckoning of them.
Yeah, Millie Bright did really well there, got tight, just shoved her off the ball. But the run beforehand, she'd recognised Catlana, that Lucy Bronze had vacated that right back position, dragged Millie Bright out wide. And when you've got so much space to run in, all she's got to do is just knock the ball past Millie Bright, and then it's absolutely, it's certainly in her favour. Her next touch was infield towards goal, and then it's got to be a 1v1 save from Mary Earps. Big time save from Mary Earps.
Here goes Alex Greenwood, plays it forward to Fran Kirby, edge of the centre circle into the final 10 minutes. It's England 2, South Africa 1. As Lauren Hemp heads the ball forward, and Toon, very good save indeed by Dlamini. Toon caught that so sweetly, and Dlamini does a big low five with Ramalepe, the fullback, because she's made a very good stop there. It's behind for an England corner.
Love it when goalkeepers celebrate a brilliant save. Why not, eh? Strikers do that and they score a goal. Excellent save from standing goalkeeper Dlamini, who come on at half time. Ella Toon, it did sit up nicely, Vic. It was perfect, just on the edge of the 18, just where we're sat opposite that. Expected that one to fly in.
So corner to be taken on this far side for England. Can they restore their 2-goal advantage? It's swung in, it's cleared away before it can reach Lauren Hemp, and then Stanway on the volley launches it over the bar. So England 2, South Africa 1 here in Coventry on 5 Sports Extra. 9 minutes to play. It is still on a knife edge in the Women's Euro playoff semi-finals. 1-1 on aggregate between Northern Ireland have just scored. Northern Ireland in extra time have gone 1-0 up against Croatia. They lead by 2-1 on aggregate, and there are 4 minutes of extra time left as Northern Ireland look to make it through to the playoff final. What a huge moment for them. Can they see it out? So advantage to Northern Ireland on aggregate. It's still level 2-2 on aggregate, 1-0 on the night to Wales against Slovakia. That's half time and extra time, and it's finished. Scotland 4, Hungary 0. 5-0 Scotland win on aggregate. They are through to the playoff finals for the Women's Euros next summer. And Republic of Ireland are through as well. 9-0 they've beaten Georgia on aggregate, 3-0 on the night. But what a moment for Northern Ireland. Can they join Scotland in the playoff finals? Will Wales join them as well? We'll keep you right up to date here on 5 Sports Extra. And once this game finishes, switch over to 5 Live for the end of Brentford against Sheffield Wednesday. And Charlie Slater will keep you right up to date with those Women's Euro playoff semi-finals as well. Here come England again. Kirby can't trap that ball from Toon, and it's all the way through with Dlamini.
Lovely ball from Fran Kirby there. England just need to get control of this game. It's sort of like it's just back and forth. England give the ball away. Catlana finds clever pockets of space, using her attributes excellently well, causing havoc for the back line of England. It's not playing out the script as England would have liked by any means.
No, and it did in the first half. The first half went pretty well. Good impact from the players that have come in, particularly Clinton and Maya Letitia. 2-0 up. But Catlana has run the show for South Africa in this second half. She scored 1 goal. She's been denied by a great save from Mary Earps. She scored a thumping second that was ruled out for offside. Can she find that leveller for South Africa that would really, really put the pressure and scrutiny again on Sarina Wiegman's England? This against a side ranked 48 places below them. Yes, they're the reigning African champions, but they were thumped 5-0 by Denmark on Friday. Have to say, they were missing some big players for that game. Catlana was one of them, a guy who's had a couple of great chances, another, Motlahalo as well. So this is a stronger South Africa side, but here goes Russo with a strong run. Oh, she's been absolutely flattened there. That was so cynical from Mbane, and it's one of those that, I mean, it's going to be a yellow. That's the right decision because of the position that Russo was in. She's on the edge of the penalty area. There were other defenders back, but it is cynical with a capital C.
Whoa. That was a terrible tackle. It was cynical, and if Leslie Russo comes off out of this with a significant injury, her teammates waved on the physio and the doctor as quickly as they saw her and spoke to Russo. I think England have made all their substitutions, is that right? Yeah, so but I hope Alessia Russo's okay. It was a terrible tackle. She knew exactly what she was doing. Beating for pace. Great run from Alessia Russo. Just opened out a stride, Alessia Russo. Great to see them see her going against the back line. I don't think they've done that very often. Just what Kat Larner and South Africa have done to England, Alessia Russo did to South Africa.
Well, fortunately, she is up to her feet, Alessia Russo, hence the big cheers. And England have a free kick just to the left of the penalty area, about level with the corner of the box. It's a 3-player South Africa wall. It is still Northern Ireland 1, Croatia 0 on the night, 2-1 on aggregate. That late goal in extra time has Northern Ireland on the brink of the playoff final for the Euros. 12 minutes for Wales to go. They're level 2-2 on aggregate in extra time against Slovakia. As Greenwood swings it in, left-footed, powerfully headed away by South Africa, comes to Toon, edge of the box, low shot, might be met by Hemp, tries to lay it off to Chloe Kelly. South Africa making a mess of clearing it. In the end, Matlano gets it away, picked up once more by Millie Bright, who's midway through the South Africa half after that set piece. Chipped forward by Greenwood, Hemp is in there, sends the header wide on the stretch on the corner of the 6-yard box. Rachel Brown-Finnis.
Yeah, England starting to feed off the energy, the crowd and players on the pitch, giving a bit more for England fans to sing about. Lauren Hemp on the pitch, Alessia Russo just seemed to be wanting to do something about it, spark a little bit of magic, because if England go on to win this 3-1, it sounds almost flattering. 3-1 is a scoreline, given the chances that South Africa have had and failed to capitalise on. It's certainly by no means perfect, far from it from England, but do you know what? These are learning experiences for the staff, for the players. You ain't going to always get it your own way.
And this is England's best spell of the second half for quite some time. Here is Letitia. They lead by 2-1. Can they find the third and see the win through? Good defending and goalkeeping by Dlamini, though, came out really decisively to the edge of her 6-yard box and deals with that. Sends it up to halfway. Chested down by Millie Bright, and England have it just inside their own half.
That was just the scenario I was thinking. When Lucy Bronze came on, she'll have been backing herself to get a goal for England, really get the bit between her teeth, motor up and down that right hand side, and that diagonal ball, Lucy Bronze on the far post, hanging header. It was almost something we've seen before.
But here goes Kat Larner again, down the left-hand side, up against Lucy Bronze. Plays the ball in, Kat Larner. It's cleared away by England's, only as far as Motlahalo. And now space on this right-hand side for Ramalepe as South Africa commit the pink shirts forward. Ramalepe's ball, good take by Mary Earps. Came through a crowd of her own purple shirts and does claim. And drops to the ground inside her own 6-yard box. But they're going for it, South Africa, as the attendance is announced here. 20,400 here at the Coventry Building Society Arena. But again, the game is open. Ginny Flaherty and I were saying on Friday on 5 Live, game management went out the window probably after 11 minutes at Wembley against Germany when England were 2-0 down. It ended up 4-3 to Germany. We're not seeing much game management here, are we? We're seeing South Africa absolutely push for an equaliser, which they're entitled to do, but England, instead of really slowing the play down, are just pushing for this third goal.
Oh, but that's boring, isn't it? In a friendly match, Vic. I'm not sure, if that's one of the objectives, fair enough, and but I don't think that is an objective. It's about the performance, and Sarina Wiegman, the fans, they want to see goals, they want to see synchronised passages of movement up the pitch, and they'll just keep going for that.
Boos here as Ramalepe is fouled by Mare Letitia, and South Africa have the free kick, which of course they send towards Kat Larner, but for once her touch lets her down. Big cheers around the Coventry Building Society Arena. And it will be a throw to England midway through their own half. England 2, South Africa 1. You've had another half to assess this, Rachel, in terms of players that are really going to force their way into Sarina Wiegman's thinking for the next friendly, which is a huge one. The Olympic gold medalist, the world number ones, managed now by the former Chelsea boss Emma Hayes, the USA at Wembley at the end of November. If you're Wiegman and you reflect on this game as a whole, who has, out of everybody, most put themselves in your thinking?
Well, would you think that Sarina Wiegman's starting 11 was the starting 11 that played against Germany? Because I think most people's thinking is that is what Sarina Wiegman is thinking that that's her starting 11, her strongest 11. So to compare that starting 11 to the players that I've seen tonight, as I mentioned, Grace Clinton was excellent. Thought she was lively, dangerous. But other than that, I think May Letizier's been good, been pretty solid. But I think the distribution of Jess Carter is a level above what Letizier has done from the full-back role. There's still so much up for grabs, Vicky. It's really difficult to say. It's certainly, I think the opposition tonight, we expected less of what they've brought, and given that they've had a number of players reinstated, didn't have visa status for that game against Denmark, Denmark probably had the easier of the tasks versus what we're seeing tonight, because these are a really dangerous team, South Africa.
So we're into 5 minutes of added time as South Africa come down the left-hand side. England make the interception and Lauren Hemp will take it in a stride brilliantly. It's him bursting through into the penalty area. Very good block at the end by Ramalepe. South Africa struggling to clear in the end, and Barney heads it back to her goalkeeper Dlamini. And Dlamini claims that England still lead by 2-1. Southampton have retaken the lead against Stoke late on in the League Cup. That's 3-2 Southampton into added time there. Still 1-1 between Brentford and Sheffield Wednesday. 12 minutes to play in that game. Scotland already through to the women's playoff finals for the Euros. 4-0 win over Hungary, 5-0 on aggregate. Northern Ireland have done it. They've done it against Croatia. 2-1 they've won after extra time. As South Africa come forward and drive from the edge of the box, and it flies past the angle of post and bar. And late drama as well for Wales. They have scored late on in extra time against Slovakia. Wales 2, Slovakia 0. 3-2 on aggregate, Wales lead. So we are on the brink of having all three home nations through to the playoff finals for Euro 2025. England will already be there as defending champions, but what a moment that would be. Northern Ireland are there, Scotland are there, and Wales are 5 minutes away from beating Slovakia in their semi-final, having scored late on in extra time. What drama there's been across the game in the Euro qualifiers tonight as England come forward, looking to see out this friendly win against South Africa. Here is Russo, very, very well challenged over on the far side. It will be another England corner.
I think Hemp and Russo have made a big difference. Lucy Bronze as well, particularly. Just bringing that expertise, that relentless pursuit of excellence, of the highs of the standards that England have achieved in recent years. And naturally bring that every game. Great to see England get a little bit of a buffer.
So here comes this corner, it's swung in, it's high, it's looping, Hemp is in there, South Africa again, struggling to clear, and Bane with the overhead kick. Here is Lucy Bronze trying to keep it alive, but she just dallied and South Africa get the foot in, but they're so deep. Catlana still full of running, trying to put the pressure on Letizier, and it works. She puts Letizier off, and Letizier sends the ball straight out of play for a throw to South Africa over on the far side. 2.5 minutes of added time to play. England 2, South Africa 1. One of South Africa's defenders, it's their centre half, Makabela, has lost her boot, so the referee is just going to allow her to retie that. But my word, England have made this second half a lot harder for themselves than perhaps was necessary.
Yeah, they have, but a lot of that come down to Catlana and how they have not dealt with her. That has been the main problem. All of the chances bar one, I think, have come from Catlana, and England's defence have just not found a way of dealing with her.
So England's in possession over on the far side, leading by 2-1. Here is Letizier, plays the ball back to Alex Greenwood, closed down by Olwene, but manages to find Georgia Stanway. No way through the pink shirts though, but she will get a free kick. Little trip earlier in the move, and England with 90 seconds of added time to play are nearly there in terms of seeing out this friendly victory. So free kick, 25 yards out, just about level with the left-hand side of the penalty area. And I'm loath to mention game management again, Rachel, because as you say, it's a friendly. But, you know, even though it's a friendly, were they to concede a late equaliser. I think a lot of the narrative wouldn't focus on the fact it's a friendly. They'd focus on the fact, again, that England's defensive lapses have let them down. But they're leading by 2-1. Can they make it safe? Alex Greenwood has it with this free kick as we enter the final minute of added time. Pink shirts lined up to defend for South Africa on the edge of the penalty area. It's swung in left-footed by Greenwood, headed away by South Africa. Bronze trying to trap it on the edge of the box. She does, but then she gives it straight to Maguire, and Catlana trying to counter. Very good interception by Georgia Stanway. Referee slipped over there. South Africa have it over on the far side with Biyana. Plays it forward to Kisan, cleared away by Ella Toon, who's back there defending, and England will pick it up with Georgia Stanway into the final 20 seconds. England 2, South Africa 1. Out to the left-hand side, and Chloe Kelly, who will play it back to the halfway line, and Maya Letitia. In field now to Georgia Stanway. England still looking for this third goal. They could just see it out. They're not going to. Lucy Bronze, little deflection, almost comes through to Kirby, but she's bumped off the ball, legally so, shoulder to shoulder. South Africa's goalkeeper Andile Dlamini has the ball, and that's it. Cheers around the Coventry Building Society Arena, because England have done it. They've done it the hard way, perhaps. They've done it with less than a scintillating second half performance, but they have beaten South Africa by 2-1. Rachel Brown-Finnis.
Yes, not scintillating, not the best performance that England have ever conjured out, but they did show some character. There was, a wave of Catlana attacks that could have really rumbled England, could have set them on the back foot, could have seen them behind in the game, not just level, but behind in the game. But they dealt with it. They reinvigorated themselves in the last 10 minutes. They finished strong. So waves of good stuff. Plenty to analyse, plenty for fans as well as the staff and the players to really get the teeth into, why that's happening, how we can change things, what we need to do, how we're going to set up against, you mentioned, the USA next month, because that for sure will be a far tougher test, in my opinion, probably than Germany or South Africa.
Yeah, what a game that's going to be at Wembley. We'll have commentary on 5 Sports Extra. Emma Hayes returning, the former Chelsea manager, at the helm of the world number ones, the Olympic gold medalists. But a good night for England and a good night for the home nations as well. Northern Ireland and Scotland through to the playoff finals for Euro 2025. Wales are on the brink. They're 3-2 up against Slovakia on aggregate, deep in extra time. Head over to 5 Live for the conclusion of Brentford against Sheffield Wednesday in the League Cup, and Charlie Slater will bring you that full-time whistle for Wales, which we hope will see them through to the playoff final as well, along with Northern Ireland and Scotland, and the Republic of Ireland have made it as well this evening. But for England, positives to take, still some of the same old questions when it comes to defence, but they have beaten South Africa here in Coventry by 2-1.